28th, 2025 meeting of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Board of Education to order. The agenda has been provided to the board members in advance. There being no opposition to any items on the agenda, it's adopted by unanimous consent. I now turn to Dr. Hill for acknowledgement of our students this evening.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. We are so excited to acknowledge our students who are with us tonight, and we'd like to congratulate you for the extraordinary work that you did in your Math 1 course. I'm going to call every person's name. Some students are not here tonight, but I'm going to ask the audience to hold their applause. When I call your name, please stand up with your certificate because our photographer is going to want to grab your picture. And then at the very end, I'll ask all of our students to stand. We'll give everyone a big round of applause. And I will also ask parents and family members who are here, as well as teachers, principals, and staff to stand as well to be recognized. Okay? All right, so hold your applause until we get to the end. First student, Quinya Beckham, West Charlotte. George Michael Lamond Campbell, Myers Park. Jayshawn Edie, Hopewell. Jorge Flores Perez, Garinger. Gabriela Garcia Montes, Garinger. Yari James, Olympic. Treasure Me Jones, Rocky River. Sarah Laura Rivera, South Mecklenburg. Keones Moore, Chambers. Zaire Smith, POB. Ashante Taylor, Harding University. Dennis Reyes, South Mecklenburg. Cameron Brooks, Mallard Creek. Nathaniel Brooks, POB. Skylar Bird, Olympic. Josephine Crawford, Independence. Alvine Donja, Olympic. Anai Eugene, Independence. Arana Faulkner, Mallard Creek. Daisy Villalobos, Garinger. Diana Cordova, Garinger. Jeremy Hill, West Charlotte. Serenity Lavrine, Chambers. Myshona Leach, Garinger. Omari Phillips, West Charlotte. Connor Richardson, POB. Angel Rivera Mercado, Olympic. Mervyn Gomez Vega, Independence. Virgil Vernon, Chambers. Samari Walker Jr., Ballantyne Ridge. And Shauna Ahmed from Independence. Let's give all of our students a big round. Family members, staff members. We'd like to congratulate you once again for your extraordinary work. We just appreciate students, parents, staff members. I see lots of principals in the audience. Thank you so much for being here this evening to recognize your students. We know that all the work that you do requires you doing a lot of homework at night and being on time for school in the morning. So we are going to allow you all to go home, finish your homework so you can be on time for school in the morning. Thank you so much and have a great evening.
I know I'm going to take over the whole space.
Thanks, Glenn Thompson. Good job.
What grade are these?
They were freshmen last year.
Okay. Yeah. Like a 4 or a 5.
Maybe. Yeah, that's what we usually do, right? They don't have it on.
All right, board members, the consent agenda items have been provided to you in advance. Is there such a motion to approve them as presented?
I move. Second.
It's been moved by Klein, properly second by Byers Bailey. All those in favor? By show of hands. It's unanimous, Madam Clerk. I turn to Dr. Hill for acknowledgement of the personnel appointment this evening.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. This evening, I'm pleased to announce a new principal at Providence High School, Christopher Myers. Mr. Myers has 27 years of education. He is currently serving as the principal at Cox Mill High School. He's also served as a principal at Northwest Cabarrus High School and also the assistant principal of instruction at Hickory Ridge High School. Mr. Myers has a master's degree in school administration from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte and a Bachelor of Arts degree in history from the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. Congratulations, Mr. Myers.
Thank you. I turn to Dr. Hill for financial statements for August and September 2025.
As presented.
Turn to Dr. Hill for the budget amendment September 2025.
As presented.
I turn to Dr. Hill for the contracts and change orders report September 2025.
As presented.
And I turn to Dr. Hill for the student outcomes focused governance 24-25 end of year goal 3 high school monitoring report.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good evening. It is my pleasure to introduce two outstanding educators from Northwest School of the Arts, Principal Katie Kofelt and Expanded Impact Teacher Dana Wilson. Mrs. Wilson plays a key role in supporting Math 1 instruction and leads a team of teachers focused on delivering rigorous and engaging academic experiences. While Northwest is widely recognized for its excellence in arts education, it is equally committed to providing high-quality instruction across all academic disciplines. Thank you both for being here tonight, and please join me in welcoming Principal Kofelt and Mrs. Wilson.
Good evening, Superintendent Hill and members of the board. I am Katie Kofelt, very proud principal of Northwest School of the Arts, and I am joined by my esteemed colleague and outstanding math instructional coach, Dana Wilson. Thank you so much for your recognition of our tremendous work in High School Math 1 in the 2024-2025 school year. Last year, we exceeded growth in High School Math 1, in addition to being recognized for having the second highest improvement district-wide. We are here tonight to share what was critical to that success and continues to be the blueprint for our work this school year. First and foremost, Northwest is committed to data-driven continuous improvement cycles, whereby we always know where students stand at any given point in time, such that we are able to identify and intervene to support students on a daily basis. From our instructional leadership team, to coaches, to PLCs, to individual teachers, to individual students, we are consistently aware of our wildly important goals and, more importantly, our lead measures to determine whether or not we are, as we call it, winning the game. Our PLCs, who are in state-tested subject areas, most of whom are singletons and directly supported by an MCL and/or an expanded impact teacher, gather data through weekly check-ins aligned to the standards, report out on that data for action planning sessions, and work with their assigned coach to discuss next steps. Vertical departments and PLCs, such as Math 1, Math 2, and Math 3 teams, report out on their scoreboards monthly to their colleagues and engage in targeted dialogue around next steps as a team and department. Additionally, the instructional leadership team engages in bi-weekly walkthrough cycles, gathering patterns and trends, and determining next steps. Currently, aggressive monitoring continues to be a primary focus, so we know where every student stands. And with that said, I will turn it over to Ms. Wilson to delve into some of the strategies she and her coaching colleagues continue to utilize to move the dial with their PLCs and with every student.
Good evening. My name is Dana Wilson.
I have served as a multi-classroom leader and expanded impact teacher for mathematics at Northwest School of the Arts. I stand here immensely grateful and proud to represent all of the extremely hard work and commitments mentioned by Ms. Kofelt, especially in the content area of Math 1. In math at Northwest, we are immersed in several core values that guide every instructional decision we make. We always start with the North Carolina State Standards and released EOCs in our initial stages of planning. Therefore, it is extremely important to know the end game, inside and out, forwards and backwards, to ensure alignment of our unit assessments, daily check-ins, and ongoing instructional tools and strategies so we can pivot and supplement in those areas. Academic literacy has and continues to be a huge area of focus at Northwest. If students will indeed be successful on a Math 1 EOC test, they must be able to read, analyze, and decipher the mathematical text and word problems with which they will be presented and expected to respond. When considering the authenticity of mathematics exercises students engage in daily, they must be able to talk the talk by speaking with confidence and authority in order to walk the walk or follow through in their actions to achieve the levels of mastery we are asking them to reach. This includes methodology and the ability to engage in specific math conversations, as well as choral responding as a class versus calling on one student to answer. Therefore, we believe every student should be able to answer a given question every time with accuracy, with confidence, and with authority. We utilize the old proverb, give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. That through daily discourse, students practice not to destroy their neighbor by giving them the answer, but to instead build their neighbor up through specific strategies that pull us all forward as individuals, as a team, and as a class. Last but not least, I cannot reiterate enough what Ms. Kofelt spoke about earlier, and that is leaving every class every day knowing exactly where every student stands. These daily pivots in instruction, whether it be to revisit a concept as a class, pull small groups, or start over the next day, are the most important decisions we can offer our students as classroom leaders and teachers. So thank you so much for allowing us to share our wildly important goals with you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Kohlfeld and Mrs. Wilson, for sharing this evening. This evening, I am presenting to you our Goal 3 end of course student outcomes focused governance monitoring report. In addition to Goal 3 overall numbers, this report also contains data on Math 1 specifically for high school. The objective of Goal 3 is to increase the percentage of students scoring college and career ready on Math 1 assessments from 27% in June 2023 to 57% in June 2029. This is the final of 2 Math 1 EOC reports in October and is focusing on the Math 1 end of course assessment for high school students. First, let's take a look at the overall Goal 3 performance of middle school and high school students combined. This graph shows the percentage of middle and high school students achieving college and career ready. As you can see, our performance last school year was 29% of middle and high school students achieving a level 4 or 5. This is an increase of 1 percentage point over student performance in the 23-24 school year. The annual target was 37%. Our actual performance was 29%, which was below target by 8 percentage points. The annual target for this year is 42%. Therefore, we must increase the percent of students enrolled in Math 1 achieving college and career readiness by 13% to reach this year's target. This is a repeat slide from the last time that we were together that shows the combined numbers, but we will move along to talk specifically about high school. This graph shows the percentage of high school students achieving college and career ready on the Math 1 end of course assessment compared to our annual targets. This interim measure is the focus of our report tonight. In the 24-25 school year, 9% of high school students achieved a level 4 or 5, which is college and career readiness, on the Math 1 end of course assessment. This number is the same percentage of students scoring a level 4 or 5 for the past 2 years. The 24-25 annual target for high school students taking Math 1 was 19%, so our actual performance was 9. We were below target by 10 percentage points. The annual target for this current year is 24%. Therefore, we must increase by 15 percentage points to reach this year's target. Here's a breakdown of the number of students that we need to meet our goal. There are a little over 8,000 students that we are targeting. 1,900 of the students need to reach college and career readiness, which would be 24%. Currently, we have 724 students that are currently college and career ready, so we need an additional 1,197 students to reach our target. And Madam Chair, at this time, I will turn it over to you to facilitate our discussion this evening.
All right. Board members, we're following our normal cadence of looking backwards first. I will turn to board membership.
Yes. I think I asked a question last time dealing specifically with high school, and I know you said we're coming to that this time. So as I look at that, my question is, what strategies are we using when we look at the fact that we need 15% and we only had 9%, well, went from 9%, right, 9%, trying to go from 9 to 24%. What strategies are we using, and what are we seeing in terms of the students that are the most challenged as we look at 9 through 11?
Yes, so I think you're asking me what strategies we'll be using to get to our goal?
To get
Is that
to our
correct?
goal.
Okay, yes,
What, 1,197 students?
yes. So I want to speak specifically to the numbers. The 9, when I look at goal 3 and on its face, obviously we're like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do to meet our goals? But this goal is actually quite doable. And so I'd like to turn to slide 25. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Yeah, just reading my mind. Thank you very much. All right, so on the slide, this is the breakdown of students that we have currently this year. So we've actually determined, Ms. Shipp, that we can actually meet our annual target of 24%, and this is how we're going to do it. Of the 8,000 students that we have enrolled, 834 of our students are currently college and career ready. So strategy number 1 is to make sure that the students that are college and career ready stay college and career ready, that they don't go backwards. We have a little over 1,000 students who are grade level proficient. So that means they scored a level 3. So our goal would then be to move those students to college and career readiness. And then we would need at least 210 additional students to move from non-proficient to college and career ready. So what I would say, we have several different strategies that we have in play right now. Number 1 is we know exactly who these students are. We know what schools they're in. We know what classrooms who their teachers are. Our principals know that, our school performance assistant superintendents know that, as well as the school performance instructional specialist. And so they will be, or they are working very closely with these students, looking at exactly what they're doing in the classroom to make sure that they are working on the appropriate task in order to get them to college and career ready. The other thing that I would say is there has been a lot of intensive work with our teachers and our master teachers and instructional specialists specific to small group instruction, making sure that we're differentiating instruction, understanding that there are different levels of students in the classroom, so making sure that they're doing that. Additionally, for the first time, we have a midterm assessment that is typically just given as a midterm. We've actually turned that into a benchmark, not to be confused with our typical benchmarks, but the way that it will be entered as a benchmark in Mastery Connect, that will happen this Friday. And then in 10 days, schools will turn on that data, and they will be using that data to then inform instruction before the first official benchmark, which happens in December. So lots of things that are in play to ensure that we get to our goal, and we feel pretty confident that we will do that.
I guess a follow-up for me would be, are we looking at that by grade level and what that staff looks like in terms of the need for support?
Yes, so each specific school, we know, because the data that we're talking about tonight is only students that are enrolled in Math 1, so high school Math 1. And so, yes, we know exactly what the numbers are at each school. We know the numbers of who's CCR, who's grade level proficient, who's not proficient at each school, and by teacher.
Great, thank you.
Board Member Monterey Duval.
Thank you, Chair Sneed. This is not a commentary on the district's performance. This is an analysis of the data and then a question. Just wanted to clarify that. I'm looking at the last 3 years, and it seems like this number won't budge. And so I'm almost like, you've just listed out all these strategies, so like you guys are locked in. But I'm like, was there something like systematically broken that was stopping the progress? Did we not have the date, like, did we not have this breakdown that we have now? Like, was there anything that you found that was like really stopping us from progressing?
Yes, so I'd say there's a couple of things. I would say the biggest thing, and this is very much a generality, it's not, it's just generally speaking. I would say specifically mindset, values, and beliefs. That sometimes we as educators think students that are taking Math 1 in high school are students that are not necessarily proficient. So we have had students that are in high school Math 1 that enter college and career ready, meaning a level 4 or 5 on the 8th grade test, and when they get to Math 1, they're a level 3. Does that make sense? So
No, sorry.
yeah, so we have some students that are in 8th grade. When they leave 8th grade math, they may be a level 4 or 5.
Okay.
And then when they take Math 1, they're not staying a 4 or 5.
Oh.
Which is why when I was answering Ms. Ship's question, like that is a really big strategy to know who's in your classroom. Point being that we just can't teach to the middle, because you already have students that were a level 4 or 5 who have mastered content in 8th grade.
Also, you found that you're losing students.
Have some students
or
that
decreasing, not losing, decreasing in school.
they may have been college and career ready, and then they end up
interesting.
getting a level 3. Now, sometimes it's only by a point or two.
Sure.
So-
But we don't have like 1,000 students is pretty doable, so every number matters. Yeah.
Yes. Every student matters.
Every student
And
matters,
so what
yeah.
I'm saying is, the main difference before, we had strategies that were in place before. So 2 years ago, we introduced the year-long math curriculum,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So I
yeah.
talked a lot about that. This year, we've been much more intentional about scheduling students. So like which students need to be in an honors Math 1 first semester, which students need to be in a year-long, which students need to be a standard level Math 1 first semester or second semester. So much more intentional with scheduling. And then, so I would say that year over year, we've added some things, but this year we feel much better because we are zeroing in at knowing exactly who those students were. Now, not to say that obviously the teachers knew who the students were,
Right.
but systematically having a system-wide approach of how we're going to address students. And I think the other big thing is differentiated instruction in the Math 1 classroom.
Based on what you've said, I feel confident in this approach. It feels like you've really zeroed it on. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Vice Chair Rankin said that was 3.
No, I didn't.
3 questions.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm just giving you a hard time. Board Member Klein.
Now,
You were beginning to answer one of my questions because we're stagnant. These are the children that were in fifth grade during COVID and went back, so they've missed a lot of the middle school instruction. But look, and you're making changes in instruction, but the books that, or the materials, the curriculum materials seem to be the same. What are you changing to meet those needs, especially if we're remaining stagnant? 9%, there's something wrong with something if we can't move the bar.
Yeah, we're not changing the curriculum because we have one of the best curriculums in the state. There are a lot of districts who are now adopting our curriculum and fully implementing our curriculum and wanting to use our curriculum. What I will say, but thank you for bringing that up, because one of the things that we have really focused on is there are two specific domains that are heavily assessed. One of them is algebraic thinking, and the other one is functions. And functions is super, super, super hard. And so what we have done, Ms. Klein, is go back and look in the curriculum and make sure that students are mastering those concepts and that we are spending a lot of time specifically with functions, because there are 3 different types of functions culminating with quadratic functions that it's at the towards the end of the course, which I think is like 37%. I can't read those numbers.
32 to 36%.
Yes, those numbers that are on that slide. Yes, that's how much of the assessment it is on. So making sure that we are heavily focused on those domains to ensure that students are mastering content.
Okay, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. One other strategy that we've put in place this year is in terms of instruction. This past summer, you all are aware of Camp CMS. We had, that was a 2-pronged strategy. It was to support students who were going to be taking Math 1, but also it was support for the teachers. So over the summer, teachers taught the hardest units, specifically around functions, as a preview to students this summer before they were enrolled in the course. So that was to give students a preview of the content, and it was to support teachers with teaching the hardest units that had lots of support. So they got to observe each other. The feedback that we got from teachers was this was so helpful because it gave us the opportunity to work with it, so then they were able to transfer that when they get into the classroom this school year.
This is a follow-up. I'm assuming that you've kept the students and you're going to gather data on the efficacy of teaching this summer.
Correct.
So you can compare.
Correct.
Will we see that when y'all are presenting that fact?
If you ask it as a technical question, we'll provide the answer.
You know I will. Okay, thank you.
Any other, sorry, Board Member Byron Bailey.
Thank you. I can grasp how the work you are doing with the children students who are grade level proficient and getting them to college and career ready. But those 200+ students who are not even there, what other more intensive work are you doing with them to get them from not proficient to college and career ready in order to meet this goal?
Yes, so I've talked before about response to benchmark tools that our learning and teaching team has put in place to support. So when the students take a benchmark, they create a response to benchmark tool that really narrows down. So for example, if students miss these standards or these domains, these are things that you need to do. So using that information to really support students specifically in small group instruction. So grouping students that may still be having trouble with a specific standard and providing that small group instruction. Typically, you see that instructional model a lot in elementary schools, not so much in high school. So we're really focusing on using that model to support students so every group of students are getting exactly what they need. They're getting taught grade level content, but then also small group instruction based on the standards they need to focus on.
So I anticipate that once they grasp that, do you expect them to jump, or do you expect them to slowly increase through grade level proficiency?
Well, the goal is always to get students to college and career ready. And so you see the 9% that looks stagnant, but what you don't see in that number is, to my point, there might be some students that are college and career ready and they go to a level 3, which means they're still on grade level, they're just now level 4 or 5. But we do have several students that go from non-proficient to college and career ready. So Chief Thompson, the way she says it is, we need to make sure that our college and career ready kids keep their place in line, that they don't go backwards. The kids that are grade level proficient skip line, and then the students that are non-proficient skip from grade level proficient to college and career ready. So to be more specific, we are not only targeting our non-proficient students, saying they can only get to a level 3, because we have evidence every single year that there are students that are non-proficient that end up a level 4 or 5.
Okay, good. All right, thank you.
All right, this looks like it concludes our backwards questioning, now forward-facing. Vice Chair Rankin?
Go back to my question from last week, if you remember. What strategies are being put in place to better prepare students taking 8th grade math in middle school to be more prepared to improve performance in Math 1 as a 9th grader?
Can I phone a friend?
You can come
Mike, talk to Paul tonight.
Good afternoon. So we have, working with our learning and teaching team, we are actually working with our 8th grade math teachers to bring them in each quarter to do similar model as summer school, so they can preview the standards that they'll need to address with students to make sure that they are better prepared and can teach those challenging units. We also have trained all of our 8th grade teachers that teach our Math 1 students, which is what we saw the benefit from, that they have those gifted resources as well. So we're going back now to make sure that our 8th grade teachers that prepare our kids to take Math 1 in high school have that strong additional support with training throughout the school year, job embedded, and we're doing the core action walks in those classrooms as well.
Can I do a quick follow-up? I don't know if we've done this yet or not, but have we taken the time to link the two to where we know the standards that they are possibly missing in 9th grade, and then possibly link those back to where that may be in 8th grade so they can be prepared when they go in? Does that make sense?
So we're doing a lot of small group instruction, great question. We're doing a lot of small group instruction to do the spiral back to your point about the skill deficits that they may have to build to the math standard at 8th grade. So we're using our iReady resources as well, but you'll see if you go into our middle schools and high schools, small kidney-shaped tables where they're pulling small groups back and they're talking with the students and doing coaching with individual students and looking with their diagnostic data in small group, how can they meet those skill gap deficits, and then the ongoing spiral back as we're providing grade level content to all students.
Thank you.
Board Member Klein?
Okay. I don't know who's going to be able to answer this. With a student in Math 1 in 9th grade, CCR, what are we going to do to get those students possibly into an AP class before they graduate? Because if they follow the natural progression, they won't make it. So what are we doing to support them into an AP class?
I'll answer that question. Well, I think there's a couple of things to consider. That student may not be interested in taking an AP mathematics course. They may not need it based on what it is their desire is for career placement. The other thing that I would say is that we offer a variety of AP courses in lots of different content areas. As you know, for Goal 4, that's one of the indicators that we are looking at, but not just AP courses, but any course that would be considered a college level course. So that might be a course through Central Piedmont as well. So we would not just look at students in Math 1 who score a level 4 or 5 and shove them into an AP course if that's not what they need or it's not what they desire.
Would they be able to be on a track to get there if they wanted to?
Of course, yes. I mean, of course, they would have to take Math 2, Math 3, and then they'd have to take, another math if they wanted to take an AP level course.
Okay.
Got a couple more. It's not. All right. Let me go to this one next. So to reach our goal, we're going to have to do some serious acceleration. Like, we have a gap that we have to meet there. And Math 1 seems to be the only core subject that you can take before you get to high school. Like, you can't take, world history in 7th grade, right? So, like, I don't know if there are any other subjects you can do that other than Math 1. If I'm wrong, you can let me know, but I think
We
Math 1.
just had this conversation.
Math 1 is one of the very few that you can do, right?
Do you know what they
Okay.
are?
Math 1 seems fairly common.
Environmental science.
But this is my question. And these are usually students that excel and are accustomed to taking fast-paced courses. What type of strategies are being implemented for those students that are taking Math 1 in 9th grade that are not normally accustomed to fast-paced instruction? We're going to have to excel.
You said Math 1 in 9th
So
grade?
most of the time, the students that take Math 1 in 8th grade, 7th grade,
Yep.
they're on an accelerated course. But most of the times, some of our students in Math 1 in 9th grade, not all, but some are not used to that fast-paced type of instruction. Do we have any strategies in place, being that we're going to have to excel, one, go back and maybe reteach some other stuff and excel them to CCR? Do we have anything in place or strategies to get them prepared for fast-paced instruction?
Yeah, so if a student, so the reason why it's accelerated in 8th grade is because it is a high school course. But once they're in high school, it's no longer an accelerated course, unless, of course, it's an honors course. So if it's an honors level course, then it would be accelerated. But to your point of taking a look at some of the strategies that have been used in middle school for acceleration, we have looked at the strategies that have been effective with middle school math, which is what Dr. Balknight alluded to briefly just a minute ago.
Last one.
Can I say one more thing about that, though?
Sure.
So I wanted to go back specifically to the functions, because I think this one is critical as well. It's still up there, as I mentioned, that is a huge domain that's assessed. It's really difficult. There's 3 types of functions: linear, exponential, and quadratic. And so we've talked some about this, and future facing, we've talked about going back and reviewing the pacing, because what happens is quadratic functions are towards the end of the course, and they have to have mastered the first 2 before they get to that, but it is very, very difficult content. So we've talked about the possibility of your point of accelerating on the front end to move pacing, so students then have more time to work on the quadratic functions, because it is such a difficult concept.
That's really good.
Board Member Klein,
Oh, sorry, she had a question.
we might as well go ahead.
We have to be in order. I already had mine, so it's her turn.
No, it's okay.
Go ahead,
You
Vice Chair
finish
Rankin.
and then I'll go.
All right.
Once you're done, you're done.
I was looking at the appendix, and I was comparing our benchmark data, and every single category, we kind of missed, student category I'm talking about, missed what was predicted. We went down. Can you talk about how we can ensure our predictive measures could be more accurate, or anything we could change strategically for this upcoming school year to make sure that what we're asking, what we're looking for in our benchmarks are accurate, or is there any adjustments or strategies that we need to change?
Yes, great question. So to your point, this is the only one that looks really wonky. We've had a couple that we talked about for the 23-24 school year where there was a huge gap, but then last year it kind of evened out. So a couple of things is we have restructured the way that we administer the assessments, meaning that there is more instructional time between benchmarks, so it'll be kind of evened out, providing more opportunities for more instructional time. And the second thing that we've talked about is what I just mentioned in terms of sometimes when they take that benchmark, they've not gotten all the way through quadratic, but I still don't know why they're performing better on the benchmark, but that's neither here nor there. We've done a few strategies in terms of pacing, and then the second thing is changing the way that we administer assessments so that it allows more instructional time.
Thank you.
Board Member Klein?
I just want to make sure, and I was trying to count the number of assessments, because last year I felt like there were a lot of assessments and the concern of being just tested by the students. Have we added more assessments this year? Because I was trying to figure out what the difference between the midterm.
The midterm is an assessment that they've always given.
Right.
They're just now entering it into Mastery Connect, so it will
Okay.
give them the data that
So
is
it's just-
actionable.
It's just the midterms and
Yes.
that was my confusion.
It's the exact same
So-
assessment, they're just entering it in Mastery Connect.
Okay,
So it will give them the data aligned to standards and it's more actionable.
okay.
Board Member Monterey Duval?
I'll follow up online. It's more of a technical question.
Okay. All right, any other strategic questions, forward-facing? All right, thank you, Dr. Hill and board members. Oh,
Dr. Witherspoon, do you have a question?
I did.
Oh.
I'll go ahead now. I asked about families before, and how are we supporting the families and what they need to know and be able to do to help their students? Because it's critical by the time they get in high school as we look at graduation and beyond. As we look at even Math 1.
Yes, so they are going to that slide for me. It is in the appendix titled Family Engagement. So we've talked a little bit about the family portal. So all of the resources, again, are housed in the family portal. Right here, yes. So here are some screenshots of things that we have available. A list of the standards. You'll see underneath where it says algebra functions, so we want to call that one out. So if students need additional support with functions, they can click on that. We also have some one-pagers that break the information down to ask specific questions of your student as they're working. And then there's also a bank of video resources. So when the parents get the report and the students get the report, and it says they need additional support on these 3 standards, they can go on the family portal, click on the standard, and actually watch a video of it being taught by one of our teachers that have been extremely successful teaching that content. So the student can watch it being retaught, the parents can watch it, and then opportunities for the students to practice as well.
Yeah, and my follow-up is sometimes I've even heard from students, and maybe not their parents as much, saying they needed more help in terms of knowing what to look forward to when they get in high school and be prepared to get their credits and then graduate ready for the next step. So just making sure parents know this is available, and they can, and it's hard sometimes at high school, they can help their students.
Yes, and we push this information out through Parent Square quite often. And so our data tells us that we have
As well, so.
quite a large number, I don't know the exact percentage, but we run data analytics in terms of the number of families that are signed up for Parent Square and who receive it and all of that on the back end. So we are definitely pushing it out. The other thing that we are asking those that are using the parent portal, we're going back and asking if the information is user-friendly and if it's helpful to parents.
Thank you.
Board Member Byers-Bailey?
Yes, that piques my curiosity. A lot of times parents are kind of peeking over their shoulder, well, how does that work and what are you doing? and they don't understand what the student is doing, so they feel helpless to help. Would this parent square be what a parent could use to refresh their skills and abilities within math? So
Yeah, specifically the videos, because they can watch the video, they can pause it, they can rewind it. So they get to see the specific standard taught by somebody who's mastered the content. So it's an opportunity to support parents, but as well as the students. Now, the students would have already been taught the information, so when they watch the video, it really should be a refresher. You know, they're not entering that space with no context because they've already received the content in the classroom.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions? All right, thank you. I turn to Dr. Hill for the superintendent report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This evening, I would like to do some recognitions of some outstanding people who are doing great work in our schools. First, I'd like to recognize our Counselor of the Year, Lauren Mina. She is the counselor at Winding Springs, and she was recognized as the North Carolina Counselor of the Year. I'd also like to say congratulations to the new Dr. Erica Turner, who serves as our Executive Director of Athletics, and Dr. Alejandra Garcia, who's the principal at James Martin Middle School. All right, we have talked a lot about student data, but I'm really excited to announce, and I'm going to name all these schools in less than 5 minutes, we had 130 schools that were in the top 50% in the entire state of North Carolina for growth. So here they are. Hold your applause until I'm finished, and we have it up here on the screen for you. Ashley, these are the top 5% of growth. Ashley Park, Jolene Adams, Piedmont, Jackie Barone, Beverly Woods, Andrew Bell, Paw Creek, Daniel Belton, Bailey, Jason Bissinger, Davidson, K8, Amanda Childress, Northwest School of the Arts, Katie Kofeld, West Charlotte, Paula Cook, Dilworth, Rebecca Crawford, Elon Park, Kelly Dowdy, Providence, Tracy Harrell, McClintock, Michael Jarrell, Marie G. Davis, Philip Johnson, Olympic, Casey Jones, Charlotte East Language, Sarah Lang, Druid Hills, Beth Marshall, Wilson STEM, Patrice McCauley, End Haven, Julie McKinney, Independence, Amy Mims, Palisades, Eric Olenjarsik, Ballantyne Elementary, Jigna Patel, Bain, Catherine Petrodi, Knightsview, Summer Rogers, Community House, Brian Slattery, Kennedy, Kevin Sudamak, J.M. Robinson, Rebecca Thompson, Central Piedmont Early College, Eric Turner, Tuckasegee Elementary, Latricia Wilson, the top 5% in the state. Top 10%, we have 20 schools: Old Providence, Molly Aldridge, Berry Hill, Kara Branson, Briarwood, Kibbe Cunningham, Mount Clair, Courtney Derrick, North Academy of World Languages, Lydia Ferguson, Myers Park, Robert Folk, Allenbrook, Tanya Grimes, Ray Farms, Brooklyn Huff, Berwick, Kimberly King, Elizabeth Lane, Crystal Lale, Statesville Road Elementary, Michael Longarini, Renaissance West, Demetrius McDaniel, Wingate Park, Kara Mashaw, Albemarle Road Elementary, Monica Palmer, Thomasboro, Rolando Parkins, Northridge, Darrell Potts, Crown Point, Layla Stanley, Mallard Creek, Jared Thompson, Parkside, Brenda Mills, Huntersville, Emily Zalando, Hughes, Mary Beth Crisp, Polo Ridge, Giovanna Edwards, Pineville, Bobby French, Smithfield, Moisia Harlan, Highland Renaissance, Amani Harper, North Meck, Stephanie Hood, South Academy of International Languages, David Lynn, POB, Tanya Brannon, Lake Wiley, Rebecca McFoy, Hawk Ridge, Kristen McCauley, Sedgefield Middle, Sheena Miracle, Sterling, Robert Neal, Westerly Hills, Keisha Pride, Idlewild, Tricia Stewart, Long Creek, Crystal Tuck, Whitewater, Tamalee Ward, and Joseph Greer, Bridget Wilson. Give the top 10%. Okay, we have 19 schools in the top 20% in the state: Providence Spring, Jane Armbruster, Devonshire, Eric Barton, Hickory Grove, Matthew Bauer, Selwyn, Sharon Harris, Billingsville, Cotswold, Alicia Hash, Cornelius, Jessica Holbrook, Winterfield, Hasty Hovey, Windsor Park, Marita Little, Still Creek, Tamara Looney, Mint Hill, Rick Marine, Pinewood, Natasha Pegram, University Creative Arts, Shanna Ray, Highland Creek, Ernie Saxton, Mallard Creek, Heather Stowe, Oaklawn Language Academy, Christy Transgrun. Please give them a hand. And the top 50%, 48 schools: South Meck, Mark Anger, Butler, Yolanda Blakeney Reeves, Whitewater, Lauren Bloom, Myers Park Traditional, Elizabeth Karuba, Eastover, Natalie Carter, Starmount, Kylene Collins, A.G., Dossie Connor, Bruns, Nathan Curry, Stony Creek, Karen Dozier, East Meck, Stephen Dry, Huff, David Farley, Highland Mill, Rachel Fink, Southwest, Andrea Foggy, J.T. Williams, Melanie Francis, Mint Hill Middle, Nakia Gamble, James Martin, Alejandra Garcia, Eastway, Lorinda Garvin, Grand Oak, Ray Giovanelli, Clear Creek, Michelle Givens, Reedy Creek, Rachel Goldberg, Esperanza, Angela Grant, Croft Community, Shannon Hamilton, Chambers, Travaris Hicks, Torrance Creek, Diana Hossey, Rivergate, Nizzy John, Reed Park, Samantha Mazzone, McAlpine, Krista McGurk, Collinswood, Dina Modine, Sedgefield Montessori, Jennifer Moore, Charlotte Engineering Early College, Susan Nichols, Chantilly, Sandra Noel, Newell, Kiera Oglesby, J.H. Gunn, Dana Picaro, Albemarle Road Middle, Tony Perry, Sharon, Catherine Phelan, McKee Road, Michael Price, Charles Parker, Stephanie Range, Lebanon Road, Rhiannon Riley, Oakhurst Steam, Kimberly Roberts, Barnett, Melissa Roy, Winding Springs, Matthew Slota, University Meadows, Bilal Tawab, J.V. Walsham, Jamie Teska, Hopewell, Jim Vandesal, Piney Grove, Felicia Walker Cooper, CMA, Catherine Waters, and Irwin Barry White. Top 50%, please give them a hand. I'd like to say a very special thank you to the General Assembly for the state legislated bonus that these principals are receiving at the end of this month for their extraordinary growth. Teachers at these schools will also receive a bonus in January or February, so thank you so much. I do want to add for the board and to the public, while this is a bonus, it's a supplement to their salary. As a reminder, our teachers have not, and our staff, none of our employees, have received an increase this year because, from the state at least, because the state has not yet passed the budget. Madam Chair, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Hill. Congratulations to all of the schools that were listed today. We have one action item this evening, and I turn to Vice Chair Rankin as Chair of the Policy Committee to make the motion. As reported out of committee, it does not require a second for the creation of Policy O-AIU, Artificial Intelligence.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the proposed creation of Policy O-AIU, Artificial Intelligence. The policy highlights the importance of the responsible and ethical use of AI within our district as our students and staff learn to work with this emerging technology. While AI may enhance future educational outcomes, streamline administrative processes, and provide valuable tools for students and staff, AI cannot be used to replace human interaction, creativity, or decision-making. The policy applies to the use of AI in the classroom, and by staff, it is divided into 8 parts, including definitions, AI implementation process, responsible and ethical uses of AI, use of AI in student learning and academic applications, training and support for AI users, public records, review and revision, regulation. This policy aims to ensure that AI systems introduced into the district align with educational goals, comply with privacy laws such as FERPA and COPPA, are accessible to our diverse student and staff population, and that AI bias is mitigated whenever possible. Due to the fast-paced nature of the development of AI technologies, it is the committee's recommendation that the AI policy be reviewed annually to determine whether any updates are necessary. The policy committee met and considered this new policy at our September 10th, 2025 meeting and voted to recommend approval by the full board.
Mr. Rankin, would you like to speak to your motion?
No, thank you.
Are there any other comments?
I just have a brief comment. I'm super excited about this policy. I think it's the beginning of something hopefully very innovative. and something that'll propel us to the next level. I will say, as someone that works in corporate, has a career of over 10 years, we're using AI, we're being encouraged to use AI, we openly use AI, and it's just really important that our students are prepared for that. And AI is not gonna take your job, but people that know AI and know how to use AI are gonna take your job. And so I truly believe that, and I'm excited for this, and I think it's really cool that CMS is taking this step. It can be scary, there's lots of risk involved, and we're gonna be very aware of it, we're very on top of it, but I think this is a very net positive thing. This is a great equalizer. This is going to be very helpful for those that are learning English, that want to better their communication skills. I mean, there's so many great things that this can unlock, so I'm just really excited, and I think it's really cool that the board supports this, and that's it, I'm done, sorry. Talking.
Any other comments?
I'll just echo it. I think it's one of those things, I'm glad we're on the leading edge for our children, including my own children here, as someone who's also in corporate America. Isn't necessarily replacing jobs, but it is making us more efficient. It also allows you to be a more critical thinker, just like when search engines came around, people were scared of them and how they worked. I think it is only gonna behoove us to set our children up in this county for the world that they're going to jump into, which this is gonna be a critical function in it.
I want to echo my fellow board members. I'm very, very excited about this. I have had, my master's degree is in online teaching and learning, and so I've used a version of technology and AI for the last, I don't know, almost 10, 15 years now. And so I'm very, very excited to have this policy in place where our teachers can start learning how to use AI as a tool in their classroom, and then eventually it trickles down to our students using AI to further their studies. So I'm really excited to see what CMS is leading this in AI development in schools, and I'm really excited to see what happens.
All right, I think we're ready to call for the vote. So all those in favor of the motion to create policy O-AIU artificial intelligence, please raise your hand. It's unanimous, Madam Clerk. So the motion carries. There being no other regular business for this evening, however, we did not complete our items for closed session, so I will entertain a motion to go into closed session to prevent the disclosure of personal information that is privileged, confidential, and not a public record, is outlined in sections 115C-319 and 115C-321 of the North Carolina General Statutes.
So move.
Moved by Witherspoon, second by Klein. All those in favor? All right, we'll now go into closed session. That's unanimous, Madam Clerk.
It's easier to say Klein than